Hello, I'm John Gunderson from Otter Outfitters, and I'd like to show you how to take Y bones out of a Northern Pike fillet. A lot of people don't like to keep Northern Pike because they're afraid of the bones and they don't want to mess with them and they don't know how to take them out. And what I'm going to tell you is this Northern Pike meat is just as good as walleye, and if you can get those Y bones out of there. So your first thing you got to have is make sure you have a sharp fillet knife that's flexible, because you'll need to have it to be able to bend. That's a very important factor. So I'm going to assume that you all know how to fillet a Northern, at least to this point where you've got it off of the backbones and the rib bones. So after you get it to this point, you're going to look and you'll lay it with the outside of the fillet down, and you'll notice that there's 2 rows of little bit of bones sticking out. These are the Y bones sticking out of the fillet. And now the key thing to think about is how the bones lay in the meat. And these Y bones these are the top of the Y bones, and they fan out towards the back. You can kind of see how the lines go there, but so you don't want to cut cross grain to the bones. You want to slide along with the bones. So what we're going to do is we're going to find that first row of Y bone tips that are there, and we're going to start slicing in just right by it. And we don't really cut hard, we just kind of shimmy the blade down and it'll glide right along the bones, and you can see the bones right down in here, so on how they fan out to the back. So if you put too much pressure on, you'll cut through the bones. So you just want to kind of shimmy it, and that's where the sharp knife comes into effect. You just keep pulling it back. You keep pulling the knife along the way, and you can see the bones are sitting in the meat there. So what you're going to come out with first is what we call kind of like a backstrap piece, and this has no bones in it. Put that in there. Then for the second half, you're going to find the second part of the Y, which is right along the lateral line there, and you're going to start your cut right underneath it. And this is where the bending of the blade really comes into play, because you want to put pressure down on the blade so it springs up against the meat, so to speak, the piece that you're cutting. So as you can see, I'm putting a fair amount of downward pressure on to bend that blade, but it'll float up against the bones. So the bones will be in here. You'll get some waste, you can see, but you see how those bones are going. So you'll get waste, but this is your throwaway piece. And when you're done, you have an absolutely bone-free fillet. So that's pretty much the trip. So thanks for your time today, and make sure you keep those Northern Pike.